Okay, we're starting all over. I'm now recording echo and all. So you're not hearing Lori's voice echo. That's very interesting. Okay, we're starting all over. I'm now recording echo and all. Okay, it's not that bad. I think we're just going to live with it because if I sit here fiddling with settings, who knows what will happen.
Anyway, we're
I've
just
started recording.
Stream, so
we're
we
now
can
starting the
start it all
stream
over again.
So here we go. Stream part 2. It's now 15 minutes into the stream.
So as usual, we actually got it running almost in time. And this is Lori, and that is...
Hi, I'm Corey.
And we're filming here from beautiful downtown Owani, California, where it's probably up there in the 80s outside because this is late fall.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we're wearing t-shirts and I'm sweltering in here.
Yeah.
So this is I don't know if this is our typical October weather. I think it actually is. I think
it's sometimes. Yeah, we have a...
I seem to recall years in which it was blazing hot until Halloween, and then all of a sudden it rained and nobody could go out on Halloween.
Yeah. So at any rate, we've been talking about the add-ons we have for our Kickstarter, and we're really thrilled with those. And I want you, hope you'll go to our Kickstarter page and look up Summer Daze.
D-A-Z-E.
And you can find our Kickstarter page, and we'll show you all of our wonderful new add-ons and talk about each one of them and how much they cost and what they do for us, because this is our way of actually making Summer Daze at Hero U.
And I hope, by the way, if you're excited about this game as we are, it's pretty hard, but if you're excited about this game, then we hope that you'll get into the comments section on that Kickstarter campaign and ask questions and talk about the game. And if there's stuff, if you don't feel like the main description page is telling you enough about what the gameplay is like, please ask for clarifications, and we can put stuff in the FAQ and in the description.
Yeah, because we really like to answer people's questions. Is PG&E going to shut us down tonight? We seem to be just out of the area where people are going to be shut down. There are places, a lot of places in California, where they're losing energy today because there's a chance that there's going to be a high wind, and that means the fires that are in California will be whipped to a wild fury, So, but we're fortunate to just be out of it.
I like to do that
now.
to Lori, but...
So we should be able to make it through this session without any problem.
Yeah, we should be fine. We're not affected by the power outages.
So that is, we've talked briefly about what we were doing for add-ons. Let's get to the main event and talk about how we're playing the games today and what we're doing for this audience participation show that we've got going here. We will have 3 different competitions that, more than that, but 3 different types of games that we'll be playing, and then we will have the main event. And the main event this week was the meme event. And all this week, we have been having people send memes about Hero U or Road to Redemption or about Hero's Quest or Summer Daze or anything that remotely resembles this. Yes. Yeah.
So, there's a question in chat about, don't they know that they should set a lamp on the ground and then squirt the fire with a water skin in order to capture it? We probably should have had a disclaimer in Quest for Glory 2 Trial by Fire that says, don't try this at home, kids.
Yeah.
Fire elementals are dangerous. You should
Do not play them, hit them, yes.
Yes, treat fire elementals with the utmost respect.
I need a pen, because I wanted to put what our next Kickstarter is, and I just remembered our next meeting is, and I just remembered it because of this. Okay, what's coming up, and that is Kickstarter ending, AMA.
Okay, I want to know, can everyone else still hear us, since we did have an indication from Game Archaeologist that he or she was unable to hear me, and everyone else can. Okay. So Game Archaeologist, you need to check your settings.
Because...
There's a soft echo in the back. Maybe because I'm talking too loud. Maybe if I talk really quiet, I can hear you twice.
We want that for Halloween, but not exactly now. All right.
I have a fun time every time I set this up.
It's a new experience.
There's new challenges.
So at any rate, back to the meme event. Would somebody please post the internet web address for voting on the memes? Ah, yes.
There it is.
There,
it's right
Mary
down.
Jess just gave it.
The list of votable memes.
Yes, so you while during the course of this, you should take a look at that page, go through it, and place your votes for which one you think is the best.
And don't do what I did. I clicked on one to try to make it bigger, and I discovered I voted for it.
Yeah, so if you click it, you bought it. So in other words, you want to pick out your best and just click on that, and then we will find out at the end of this who won the best meme, because we got memes from everywhere on Twitter and on Facebook, and they were very funny. A lot of people participated, and the winner of the meme event will be one of our grand prize winners. So before we go into our prizes, because we do have prizes, we should thank the people who give us prizes. So this time, before we even start out, let's see.
The cartoon in the credits, which is one of our new add-ons for people that are watching this on YouTube, where I didn't record this earlier.
Let's see. We are going to give special thanks to our sponsors. These are kind of hard to use on this thing.
I have a feeling we may be running until 7 p.m. Pacific time instead of 6 to get through all this.
Yes, our sponsors. So, first up on our sponsors, one of the prizes we will be giving away today is a map. Not just any map, it's the map of Shapir.
I think you misspelled Shapir.
Did I? Oh well. Yeah, I before E, except when I spell it.
So, this map of Shapir is interesting because on the surface it looks just like the map that came in the game box with Quest for Glory 2, which was one of our best ever box inserts. But this is actually Jim Ferguson is an artist who took that map that was in the game box and then turned it into a real painting. So this is a beautiful work of art. We have one on our wall nearby, and it's really special. If you don't win this today, you can look at Jim Ferguson's art site, and which I don't.
All right, we should have our website.
We ought to have links to.
We ought to have links to this. And Roberta, if you do us a favor,
if you can find the link
to
everybody's
Jim Ferguson's,
websites,
yes.
that'd be great.
Yes, and everybody that has it, so that every time we show these things, and of course we try to show these on Facebook. We try to let people know how grateful we are for these donations that they have given us.
But we are old people at this point. That means that sometimes we forget things like Jim Ferguson makingascene.com.
There we go. Yay!
So the Jim Ferguson makingascene.com, he sells all kinds of art, some of which is related to Sierra games. He has scenes from King's Quest and Quest for Glory and all sorts of really cool stuff.
If you don't know Jim's work, you should go to that website and see it, because it is special. And if you loved Quest for Glory or any of the Sierra games, you will have a delightful time on his website.
And it's super affordable. Jim sells it at prices that we can't imagine.
Yeah, and so we're certainly, next on the list, we have a very, very special
Katrina.
We have a painting of Katrina. This will be a print that we will be giving away. And it is gorgeous. You might recognize this particular image, but this is a real painting of it rather than taken directly from the digital thing.
And that is Lori's avatar, so...
Right, yeah. Or at
Pretty
least
much.
my persona, Okay, so we will be giving this. This is by Audrey Ryan. We are going to be giving...
And donated by Audrey Ryan,
yes.
and painted by Audrey Ryan.
Yes. And so next is this. This is just...
Chubby and Tanya.
Aww, this is just so delightful and so poignant. I can't look at that without, just starting to tear up.
Yeah, I had a little problem when I play tested Quest for Glory 4, and I got to a certain scene involving Toby, and I couldn't play anymore. It made me cry.
Yeah.
And, that's pretty silly to be crying at your own games, but, they're really Lori's games, so
Yeah.
she's the lead.
So yes, this is terribly poignant, and this is such a gorgeous print, and that expression on both characters' faces just makes this wonderful. And And we're really thrilled that we have this to give away.
And thank you, Kristen Phillips, for drawing it and for donating it.
Yes. And so then we also have, where is it? Trying to read these things. This one. Toby.
You just did Toby.
I know, I'm undoing Toby.
Ah.
And now I'm bringing up Quest for Glory 4, Hutta Brown and Characters print by Wayne Adams. This is a dramatic piece of art. And it's got some very, memorable characters from...
This is the thing you'd see in a, one of those posters in a movie lobby.
Yeah, well, I think of it as more as one of those...
oh, they don't have those anymore, do they?
No, those artsy, craftsy, the artsy art of Disney type of places that you get to see these artist interpretations of things. And this is a wonderful interpretation of the hero and Katrina. And there is a hut there, and I had to really look to see where the hut was. And oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah, you mean the ones they sell for like $12,000?
Those things.
Well, this one isn't selling for $12,000.
No,
We're giving this away.
Yes. So, at any rate, any of you can win one of these things. All you have to do today is participate in our contest, because that's what this is all about. We're really happy to give things away, especially when, we can advertise these wonderful people's works and let people see them.
And that was drawn and donated by Wayne Adams.
All right.
By the way, anyone that hasn't participated in the chat, if you're lurking there, just type one line somewhere in there. Just let us know you're here. And there's a secret reason for that.
Right.
We need everybody that's in the chat to type something sometime.
All of you secret lurkers, just put something down, just so that we know you're here and you're not just a ghost, because, there's not much we can do about the ghosts. That must be the echo, clearly.
So, what's up next, Lori?
Well, before we get started here with all the games and the fun, we do, we haven't been showing enough appreciation for all the people that have been helping us. And just because this is important, and we'll do it first, we'll give the credits first, These are the people that have really helped to make this particular talk.
There's never time for the end credits at the end, so we'll do the end credits in the middle.
Yes, so these are the end credits. Special thanks
to Roberta Vaughn.
She's the one who goes out and finds all these great people and these great artworks and helps to bring them together and helps them to create these wonderful prizes that we've got going here.
And she's helping us publicize the game. She's tirelessly posting stuff on Facebook and Snapchat and all kinds of places that we scarcely even know the existence of.
Yes.
So thank you, Roberta.
And thank you very much, Mouse. Mouse has been working with us this week and last week, but this week in particular to try to get this stream working and try to get the stream nice.
And of course, when we tested it, there was no echo.
Yeah. Well, so we do test these things. We do try to make these things feel like they're a professional job here, but we're such amateurs, honestly. So yes, Mouse, we really appreciate everything that you've done for us, and we wanted to let you know that, we know you're special.
Yeah, I used to have a byword about the computer game industry. People would complain, like, I sent my resume to your company, and they never even responded. And, well, since that happened to me dozens of times with all different companies, I can tell you that my byword is never make the mistake of assuming that anybody in the computer game industry is actually a professional, and that of course includes us.
Yes.
We are hardworking amateurs.
And I'd also like to thank Classic Gamers Guild on Facebook, because they have done such a wonderful job of trying to promote our Kickstarter and play these games. So I'm sure there are quite a few of you out there in the audience right now, our studio audience, who are from Classic Gamers Guild, and we just want to say we love you. We thank you so much for all the promotion and help you've given us, and this was just a thank you.
And a couple months ago, Roberta and the Classic Gamers Guild put on one whale of a party all weekend long at PAX in Seattle, and we got to meet some of the guild members, and Got to meet people we hadn't seen in a long time from Sierra, like Al Lowe and Doug Herring and Josh Mandel. Josh Mandel wrote an awful lot of the game text in Hero You Road to Redemption, and we hadn't seen him in 20 years or more.
Yeah, so it was
pretty amazing.
So at any rate, so thank you, all of you, for what we're about to do, because this is all about having fun, and we really want to be appreciative of everybody that's helping us have fun today. So that was our special thanks. And we will start out
with a game.
So this game is called Away with Words. I actually have...
You have a little poster for that. There we go.
I have an image for this. As we explain the rules for this particular game, because we're doing it slightly different than we did last time in theory.
Ah, well, I guess I'll learn something too then.
Yes, well, the way we're doing it is we're supposed to be using that robot to actually do this.
So, what is this game? Is this the one that's a cross between Wheel of Fortune and Hangman and 6 other games?
Right. This is the combo game of Wheel of Fortune.
And I just got bigger.
Oh, you did. Amazing.
The mouse is here. Okay. So, I am setting up, I'm going to pick next, and that's just to get myself out of the queue. Actually, I'm going to pick... I'll leave you in there. Okay, so what I'm going to do in a minute is I'm going to open up a queue. And if you want to play this game, you will type bang join or exclamation point join or whatever it is that funny little line with a dot on top is called.
Oh, yeah.
Dot on the bottom. Line with a dot on the bottom. Bang. Bang join. And we have not opened it yet. You're a little ahead of me.
You're jumping the gun. We haven't turned it on yet.
And then we will call people one at a time from this queue at random. And you will get to guess a letter. And if the letter is in the word, unlike Wheel of Fortune, you will see only the first place in the phrase that letter appears. And I hope you've got the cheat sheets in this.
I have a cheat sheet. It has an answer on it this time.
That doesn't have the numbers.
It doesn't have the numbers
it's gonna be hard.
This is the numbers.
Okay, let's see what we got here. So, in a moment, we will open the queue and you will try to guess this phrase. So after you guess a letter, if you guess a letter that is in the phrase, you can then guess the word. And you don't even have to buy a vowel. You can even guess a vowel, because we're that generous. I'm going to open the queue right now.
All right, bang join. Everybody type it back in again.
There we go.
And we will let you
And as everyone who types bang join will go into this magic queue. And then we will pick randomly from the queue, and when it's your turn, and only during your turn...
you can cheat and talk about it over the... You could keep talking.
Yeah,
and you could give people hints. And if you think you know it, you can go, I know it, and hope that your number comes up before they figure it out.
And if you're one of these generous people who wants someone else to win, that's a good way to do it. But if you want to win, you might want to keep it a little close to the chest.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to close this in about 20 seconds. So get in your bang joins right now in chat.
Yes, it is a phrase, and it is a phrase from one of our games. So there's the other clue you have. So it's not just a random thing we drew from or made up. So yes,
darn! The phrase I came up with doesn't fit.
Darn.
Well, okay, yeah. I am getting ready to close the queue, and we still have people joining, even as I say that. Running over the mouse, I'm closing the queue. Bang join! That would be an exclamation point join.
Ready?
Chadel, did he make it in? No, he didn't. Chadel, bang join, that's too literal. You want an exclamation point and the word join.
Yeah, that thing. Yeah, what Classic Gamers...
What Classic Gamers Guild just did.
No,
the first one.
First one, yeah. Okay.
There you go, you're in, and I am closing the queue. Now.
Okay.
All right, the queue is closed.
And those are the people. Is that how it does it? Oh,
yes,
that's
everybody's in
nice.
the queue. We have 26 participants, which is great. One for each letter of the alphabet, but letters can occur more than once.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me see what the phrase is.
That is the phrase. Yeah.
Okay. I am going to pick a random person, and the person of choice is Candahid. Candahid, you are up. First, guess a letter.
Yeah, the Q-bot works. Isn't that something? Isn't it about time we get something to work?
Wait, oh, I thought you were E, but you're A.
Oh,
okay,
he's
is
A.
there an A? And there is an A. And find the very first A. That would be number 3.
Okay, I have to actually open up the file. And
This
then I
is,
have to open up the letters.
This advanced software we're using is Lorien Photoshop, making
The
dozens and hundreds of letters. Number 3.
number 3. Wait a second. This is not right. Yikes.
Those aren't in order? What?
Yeah, they are.
Did you duplicate layers? And
No. This is right, but they're not.
Oh, they have the
They're almost readable.
I see. I see what you did. Okay.
But that's okay because you can't see it on there. I know.
No, you can't.
Because I put these things. All right, number 3. Number 3.
They probably can see that actually.
Okay,
Let's see if our phrase is a giveaway.
Yes. Because that.
You should not put. Okay, so don't look at the right side of the screen because there might be forbidden secrets there.
You can't see it, but you can't make it out unless it's full screen. That's.
Okay, so do you wish to guess the phrase and otherwise say pass, Candahid? Okay, so. Sorry, it's taking so long. Guess the phrase and otherwise say pass, Candahid. Okay, Candahid passes. I'm going to pick another name from the queue, and that is I.L. Crowley. Oh, it's, yes, I.L. Crowley. Il Crowley. You get to pick a letter.
Fortunately, these are so tiny, it's hard to read it even on our screen.
Yeah, she's,
Because these were.
Literally has glasses on. I can't remember.
Just Crow.
Okay, Just Crow. Okay.
They went B.
You want a B.
But we actually have an answer sheet here. We don't have to do this randomly.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. So we know what the words are.
Right, yes.
And there is no B in the phrase, so we will move on to the next guess. Enchantermon. Enchantermon, you are up. Pick a letter, please, and type it into the chat. Enchantermon, you are up. Wrong game show. I don't know the theme for Wheel of Fortune.
No, we don't actually ever watch it. Okay.
Okay, we have the letter I. There is an I.
Is that an I?
It's either an I or an L.
Well, it's an I now.
It's an I now because I said there was an I.
Yes. So, guess you guessed an I.
And it would have been a lot easier if you had the numbers up like that.
I know.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You clicked on it. I did.
Yeah, you did. Okay, well, let me do it there.
All right. As an I mysteriously appears in the message, do you wish to guess?
Is this phrase?
Who's Lori's Vanna White. There's no question about that. She's the more beautiful and charismatic Vanna White. I know,
Yeah.
it's heresy.
And that's Jeopardy, yes.
All right, who are we up to? We were on Enchantermon. Did you wish to guess? They'll pass. Okay, let us pick another name from the hat. Gorok 3. You are up. Pick a letter, please. Pick some water.
Where are you seeing it? I don't see where it comes up.
It's at the bottom of the chat box window.
Okay, fine. Gorok 3 says...
Is not a letter. Oh, there are letters in it. Picking the P. There are no P's in this phrase. We'll move on.
Yes. All right.
Goroksaurus Hunter.
Yeah.
Okay, next we have Vesper Stardust.
Vesper Stardust.
Okay, next we have Vesper Stardust. BP is banned from this phase.
Vesper Stardust
Guesses
says
A. Oh,
A.
hey. Now, in this game, unlike in Wheel of Fortune, you can guess a letter that's already been guessed, and there is one.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Okay. The second A in this phrase is the entire second word. Do you have a guess? Vesper Stardust. Is the entire second word. Do you have a guess? Vesper Stardust.
Yeah, we don't make you shop.
All right, there's a pass and a new random pick. Feldhammer. Mr. Feldhammer, it is your turn.
Yes, a letter.
Feldhammer. Mr. Feldhammer, it is your turn.
Darn, I'm too early. Yes.
Well, that's
yes.
a good,
yes.
This is a game where it's good to be late, but not too late. There are no N's in this phrase, and we will move on. Next guess, we may have to restart the queue after this.
Yes.
Schumann, 3D Blast. You are up.
Either that or we start going in order of those things. Are those things up there the order of how people entered it?
Yeah, we could do it in order.
We'll do it in order after that.
We will. That would make it so the people wouldn't want to enter first, and so everybody waits for everyone else.
No, at this point, after we do a bunch of randoms, then we start all over again. Okay. How about R?
There is an R, and letter number 13. There is an R. Right there. Letter number 13. Okay. The R has appeared in the phrase.
Have you got a guess?
The tension is overwhelming.
It's kind of mounting.
Arr, says the pirate. I don't know why anyone would say that.
All right, they passed. Okay.
Okay, so Lori says we're going to pick next.
No, well...
Really?
Okay.
I'm going to keep going
I
random.
was going to go random until you said you needed to... We ran out of randoms.
Oh, no. All the names have been gone by then.
Okay.
All right, picking at random. The next player is Calum42. All right, picking at random. Calum42. What do you choose?
Oh, dear.
T.
T.
Oh,
there.
you get a T.
A T. There
Letter
is
number 4.
Indeed, a T. That is a...
It's got to be there.
Yeah, I know. I have to just get it to click on.
Okay, a T is added to the phrase.
Okay. Do you have a guess?
Now, this, of course, is an anagram of Atari, is what we have up there so far.
Okay.
We're at air. And passes on the gas. Let us pick the next random. I think what's happening is I'm changing focus every time I do this. And so that's...
Yeah, it's a problem.
Okay, the next guess is Game Archaeologist. A rat. That works also.
Yeah.
Sort of like iRobot.
Uh-huh.
I just...
we can do simply...
A rat. Have a familiar named Erasmus.
Okay, a W. They picked a W, and,
There's
is
a W.
W.
The W is the very first letter.
That is... All right.
And being slightly dyslexic, clearly the word there is wart. Oh, I shouldn't have given that away. Okay, do you have a guess? Game Archaeologist. Okay, do you have a guess? Wordy. That's close. It's so close. But I'm afraid it's not correct.
All right, we go on. Next time we'll play this the way we played it.
This is a little slow.
This is we'll keep going. Okay, Gamers Guild.
Classic
Gamers Guild gets their
and we could let people guess in letters in order and have free for all on the guessing the phrase. That'd be insane.
It would be.
All right. Eden Waith guesses, what is the average wind speed velocity of an unlaid end swallow? I don't know what an unlaid end is. Unladen percent. Classic Gamers Guild, Prince symbol. Okay, is there a Prince symbol in the phrase?
I don't see one.
Have you got another letter you want to guess?
Purple. Yeah. Unleaded swallow. Now that's the faster
an unleaded
one.
swallow. Yeah, the unleaded swallow does cut down your guess. We have a C. Okay.
All right.
Is there a C in there?
I don't see one.
I don't see one.
All right.
So we will move on across the sea to Mr. Hodgepants. Mr. Hodgepants, you are up. Mr. Hodgepants, you are up. Yeah, actually, an Atari ST got me the job at Sierra, so Heroes Quest would not exist if it wasn't for the Atari ST. And Mr. Hodgepants chooses the letter S. That would be letter 6, which is right after that group that we have. And before that other one, so right in there. And there is the first S. Do you choose to guess the phrase, mister? And there is the first S. Do you choose to guess the phrase? Yeah, that's the time-consuming part of this.
Yes. Yes.
Maybe we shouldn't allow anyone to guess.
Somebody thinks they got it already.
Vesper Stardust thinks they know it. But I think did Vesper go already? I don't know. Are you in the queue? You're not in the queue, so...
People are knowing it. They got it.
Okay, terrible sauce.
Terrible sauce.
Terrible sauce. You may guess the letter, and then you may guess the phrase. Okay, terrible sauce. If you get it right.
Terrible sauce.
Terrible sauce. You may guess the letter, and then you may guess the phrase. Don't forget to support Summer Daze Kickstarter. Oh, that's a really great idea.
Yes.
Summer is a genius. Summer B76. And because here's the trick. Okay, everyone wants an H, but what is
terrible
sauce want? Because you're the one that matters.
Terrible sauce says N.
N has already been guessed and was not in the word. So why don't you pick another one?
Yep.
We're so generous here.
Feldhammer.
Yeah, Feldhammer guessed N. And if we had the chart, we'd have shown that N is out. We're so generous here.
So, guess again. Oh, another person knows it.
Hey, people are getting it. And the tension, the dynamic tension. And GXE99 is still in the queue. So if we randomly come to GXE, you'll be able to get it.
Most of us think they know it. Okay, fine.
All right. Terrible sauce. Are you guessing another letter?
Most of us think they know it. Okay, fine.
All right. Terrible night for a curse. Are you guessing another letter?
Yeah, it's not
What
Pennsylvania.
wonderful. Actually, what was the phrase I had for? I don't remember. I had something.
He said E. Oh, thank you. I got lost.
Oh, the E. There is an E. The very first E. This entire message
is number 20.
This one here.
Yeah, that one there. If you could click on it.
Yeah, I had to get focused.
All right.
Okay, there's the very first E. Do you wish to guess the phrase? Terrible sauce.
All right.
Oh, terrible sauce. I was trying to guess L. Somebody else said they guessed E.
Oh, well.
He didn't guess E.
Well,
somebody
he got an
cheated.
E. He got an E.
You got an E. Sorry, you wanted an L, but you got an E. So, guess terrible? You got an E. Sorry, you wanted an L, but you got an E. So, guess terrible?
E for excellent.
The next.
He passes. Okay.
Moonstrike. Moonstrike Kilili. I think it should be Kylie. Moonstrike Kilili.
No, it's Moonstrike Lily.
Oh, Moonstrike Lily. Oh boy, I can't read, can I?
No, we can't read. It's
Lily. You are.
It's light on dark. You know, it's gray on black. Not a good thing. All right, Moonstrike. Would you like to make a guess?
And if so, type it into the chat.
Would you like to make a guess? When you say the answer, pronounce it wrong, like the guy who couldn't say Achilles. Oh. When you say the answer, pronounce it wrong. I thought.
Graham Rocks would like to solve the puzzle. I'm sure you would.
Achilles.
All right, okay. We are about to pass on Moonstrike Lily.
Chilies. Chills. Yeah, that's it. Somebody else has got it.
Okay, Moonstrike Lily passes. Picking another random name. Rich Gen X, who thinks he knows the answer.
Oh, no. Rich.
Give us a letter that is in this phrase.
Oh, no.
He chooses S. Yes, there is an S in the phrase, and it is right after that R, so it's probably right here.
That would be it.
Okay, there's the next S in the phrase.
And do you have a guess? Rich Gen X.
What a sight for sorest eyes. Now, how do you turn on all those at once?
You don't.
What? Come on, Photoshop.
Yeah, I know. There's no easy way to do it. I just have to click, 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 click. Funny thing that. And we are slowly filling in all of the blanks that people didn't get. But
what a difference a phrase makes.
There you go. What a sight for sorest eyes. And we get.
And Rich Gen X is the winner. And our nice assistants here, Roberta Vaughn and Mouse Mary Jest, will keep track of that. But I could write it down right here, too.
And there you are. I've been looking for you. There is the sorest.
And what do we have for our winner,
For our
Vanna?
lovely winner. Our winner wins a Quest for Glory 2 map.
Which coincidentally goes right along with that phrase. Created by Jim Ferguson. And a lovely work of art that we have hanging on our wall.
Yeah.
And all she has to do is turn off phrase 1.
So, there we go. It was 3 for the last one.
Okay,
and
you
then
still have there.
I had, and
click
there we
on-
have phrase 3 down. And we have the map. This is your prize. Congratulations.
And fortunately, on the map, the land of Shapir is correctly spelled.
Unlike, the person who can never spell anything.
Yeah,
But,
she only wrote the game. She doesn't have to know how to spell them.
there's a reason why Fenris is Fenris.
Yeah, Fenris and Fenris in different games because they both sound kind of similar. All right. Well, I thought you should be. Where's your Glory Story Time? Is the end? No, I don't
Yes,
think so.
yes, it
I think
is.
should
It's
be
the
now.
end. It should be the end. We want to keep, that was a participation. We want to keep people
It's going to be
participating.
past midnight in the Europe. In
Okay.
fact, it's already.
Well, we'll play one more game, and that'll take us to 5, and then I will read.
Okay,
I'll
at
have
5 o'clock p.m. our time, which is 7 minutes from now, so you can figure on your relative times. Lori has leaned out of the camera.
That's okay, I'm reading.
Lori will begin something that we promised on our Summer Daze Kickstarter several years ago, in 2003, I believe it was, so 15 years ago. Lori collaborated with an author named Michelle Baker, who at that time wasn't yet a
Well,
published
we'll
author.
talk about all of that when we come to
And a
the
book.
story time. That's going to take a while.
And it's going to take a while, but she's going to read the first chapter or 2 of the book, depending on how long it
One
takes.
chapter. Yeah, we're going to do this.
And we'll be doing this week by week, based on the number of backers we get in the Kickstarter. So if you're already in the Kickstarter, your job is to reach out and let other people know that the Kickstarter exists, because for every 50 backers we get in the Kickstarter, Lori is going to read another chapter of the book.
Yeah.
And eventually we'll get it all out there.
Yes, and then we'll talk about the book and what it means and what
And
relationship,
why it's important.
why it's important, and why people really wanted to hear it. But before we get to that, we're going to have a free-for-all game, and it's going to be, let's see here.
It's called Pun Down.
It is a pun down. And it's Pun in the Sun.
Ooh, that's the title of the entire talk.
Yes. So this is our theme for today. It's, we're going to just do a free form. Everybody gets to pun for a thing for a moment. Everybody who wants to participate may participate. And then in the end, we'll see, we'll randomly draw from the people that are participating who gets the grand prize.
And it's either that or we're going to send everyone to the penitentiary.
That's 2. Okay, so if you want to play this, it'll just be running puns. We'll open up the queue with, we'll start a new queue.
I don't know how to get rid of this.
Oh, well, don't worry about it.
I'm just going to keep everyone in the queue who's in the queue.
Okay.
Fix GXE.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I guess you never got there. Okay, so I'm going to open the queue, and when I do that, you will type !join, and
we'll
the
have-
queue is open.
And then we will randomly choose from all those people. Pun of the Sun is the theme, and memes, because we're doing memes. So anything that's remotely punny for Pun in the Sun, or for all those memes that we did, you people that are saying bang join will be officially entered into the pun off, and we'll randomly choose a winner, because it's hard to tell who's the best pun or who's the worst runner.
We could just do this one in order of when they join.
Yes, we could. So pun it, people.
So that way you know when you're coming up. So just to give you a warning, GXC 99 will be up first when I actually start this.
Okay, we got a lot of people.
So we're getting ready to pun in the
It's
sun. We're in the
Punderdrome, yeah.
And by the way, Captain Clueless went off to get his punderwear so that
Okay.
I don't want to know the details.
Yeah.
Okay, I am closing the queue. We are not going to take any more bang joins once I click this close button in 10 seconds.
If you've already pun, you can. You already pun one already. Yes. Yes. If you've already pun, you
Oh,
All right,
please,
all
Miss
right,
Fun. That's
let's-
more of a meme.
Yeah, well, no, we said we could use memes too. Okay, the queue is closed. You can no longer enter.
Oh,
And
Graham
then-
Rocks missed it. Okay, I'm
today.
going to pick next. And it is GXE 99's turn.
Pun for it.
I'm going to pick next. And it is GXE if you're a pundit. 99's turn.
Yeah, you came in just a little too late. But that doesn't mean you can't pun. It just
Yeah.
means you won't actually be part of the.
And just to tell you the queue, after GXE 99, we're going to go to Commander Clueless,
Oh,
and
no,
then Ace
no.
and Rex.
Here's the deal.
What?
We don't care what the order is. We will randomly choose
I
somebody
want
to
people to
win.
know when they're coming
I want
up.
them to type now.
Oh, everybody
It's
type.
simultaneously.
Oh, well, why do we
Pun
have a
for
queue?
it. Pun for it. It's only to pick who's the winner.
I see.
So you can keep
Okay,
punning.
we're making puns, and because Lori and I have the unfair advantage of voice, you guys don't. You're just gonna have to type in a pun of your choice into the chat.
And the subject was supposed to be Pun in the Sun, but it's Pundermonium right now. And, Hun on the Run. How do you play? You just type in anything you think is a pun. And we will, all of us, either pun off of it or it sure is hot on the beaches of Tarna. That is a pun. The sun pun you want to hear, it's whatever you think works with this theme.
Well, normally I'd get into this, but I'm gonna punt
Ah, yes. Yes.
or pun it.
And Rich Jens said, I'm going to, he already punned. Let's go, people. Warm greetings. Fine, it's warm here. Meet me in Shapir. Meet me at the bazaar. All right. Being around the courts is nothing.
That song's too old for me. I'm
Yes.
much too young for it.
Yes. Being around the coals is nothing but glorious.
Well, we think so.
I'll be back. Sorry, that wasn't the subject. We do not take any more Cedric Owl
What?
jokes.
I thought you said memes were okay.
No, yes.
Our sun is a vengeful sun who will burn all the redheads to a crisp, leaving nothing but deadheads.
Ah, as the pendulum swings.
I went to buy some camouflage trousers yesterday, but couldn't find any. I like that. Enchanter Mon wins my vote.
Yeah, this is wonderful.
It's a beach to kill a centaur.
Don't desert me now. I cream here from Shapir. Okay?
Cut me some slack. It's too hot at the beach.
I lost my son while trying to think of this pun.
Oh, that's so sad. All this pun light is giving me a pun burn.
What was the favorite beach time activity in medieval times? Surfing!
We could use a surf here. Vesper Stardust says that the one about the redheads and deadheads, as a redhead, it's only true.
Yeah, really.
Oh, I like redheads. That's why Lori's a redhead.
Okay, the live stream far from dried up. In fact, it's all wet.
I don't get it.
Well, it's, a beach,
Oh, okay. Meep the press.
Yes. Why, once I did my math homework on the shore, was a sum of a beach.
Ah. So he's been reading a lot of Edgar Allan Poe, such as The Pit and the Pendulum.
And somebody face palms. I'm not so good at this, I may have to punt.
Oh, I already used that one. But
Oh,
that's
well,
okay.
yeah.
You can do it because, as I said, you don't have the advantage of voice. I told the meeps to go to bed and not make a meep.
I accused Moira of forgetting the sunscreen for the beach trip, but she said she didn't.
That's a groaner.
Yeah.
All right. I never had a problem with math. It's easy as pie. Y squared.
I spent the day sanding. It went swimmingly.
I can't understand why it's so hard to come up with a good pun.
I feel like I have to personally apologize for that one. Never apologize. Just put a smile on it. Yes.
And software pirates are the CD-est people in the world.
I heard Salim took up sailing. He favors tie-dyed clothes.
Ah. And the other's claws at the end of its claws? That's quite a claw.
In Shapir, I fought a fire being. It was a elemental.
What is a beach? A treatise on sea huggers.
You guys are a bunch of cheatars.
Hey, the sun is a tricky topic to make puns about. It is a bit of a blinder.
Don't be shellfish and hog all the quests.
And by the way, on meat puns, for several years when we were doing our quest log, according to Lori's quest log, Lori had to come up with dozens of meep jokes so that she could draw the meeps a different way each time.
My ex-wife still misses me, but her aim is starting to improve.
Hopefully Lori's never will.
Practice, practice, practice.
I used to be a software pirate back in the day, but I was very discreet.
The hero ran for too long and got blisters on his toes. He suffered the agony of defeat. No, you don't get one
You
shot.
get to type all the puns you like.
Right, because I heart meeps.
Although we're already past 5 o'clock, you're supposed to be telling a story.
Okay, fine. So,
Okay, we're closing this in 15 seconds.
non-pun. Think how difficult it would be to give a cheetar a manicure. Yeah. All right.
But a manicure, you can give a manicure.
Yeah,
manicure to.
manicure to a manicure.
The real key to puns is to come up with them on the spot, spontaneously.
Spontaneously, that's a pretty good one, yes.
Thank you, I just made that up.
Okay, all right. I think that we are going to end this in about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The fisherman wrapped his action figures in bubble wrap so his operation would be more dolphin-free.
Safe.
Safe. Oh, safe. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
I
see
didn't
that I
see-
came late. I sure blew it.
Okay.
All right, so now that we've had the pun fest, we're not going to pay any attention to which were the best
Yes.
puns, even though there were some awesome ones.
Yes.
And instead, I'm going to pick a random person
And this
for a
person
prize.
will be the winner.
And the winner is Borgenstein.
All right, Borgenstein.
Or Borgenstein, depending, of course, on your zones.
Okay, and what did Borgenstein win?
Borgenstein won the QG4 Hut print.
Ah, the hut.
Borgenstein won the Hut for Red October.
Gotta close anything underneath it.
Hut of Brown. Now stand up, as we said in that doesn't quite rhyme, does it? Anyway, yes, you are the proud winner of the Wayne Adams print, and get a hold of Roberta Vaughn here, and she will get your shipping information, and you get it. Hut of Brown, let's sit down. No, that's what it actually was in the game.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, there is the game that they play on Leanna Kay's channel of you can only give wrong answers, and people vote on the best wrong answer. Now, I need to figure out
But
what
there
to
are
do.
no wrong answers when it comes to puns.
Yeah, I don't know whether there's a way to clear the queue. And no, it's going to stay there forever. I could go pick everybody and get them out of it.
You could.
Yeah, I'm picking names from the queue. Pay no attention if your name pops up.
Okay, it's not doing anything, so somehow he'll have to figure this out. Well, I read things, so why don't we trade seats and you muck with that, and I will muck for this here.
What are you mucking with?
I'm going to bring up the little story time image. And we will have Glory's story time with Lori. I'm going to change seats and you play games trying to clear the queue.
We're not bothered.
We're not bothered. Any rate, what we're doing here is a long, long time ago in a world that was very, very different. Let's see, okay.
So the world changed
Yes, we were
on
no
September
longer...
11, 2001.
Yeah, we had lost our jobs. Funny thing that. We were working for a startup game company, and it didn't succeed.
And one of the reasons it didn't succeed is somebody decided to take their major sponsor and knock down their headquarters in the World Trade Center.
At least one of the reasons why it didn't succeed.
There's also, incompetence of the game designers and so
never
on.
mind. Never mind. We're part of the game designers, remember?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so any rate, just after this happens, I got in contact with a fan who said she wanted to co-write a book with me. And I thought, well, that's interesting. I wouldn't mind having a job of writing a book. But I have 1,000 million ideas of what you could write, what book you could write. But the funny thing is, she didn't want to write just any book. She wanted to write a book based off a Quest for Glory series. And I was intrigued, but, it would be very hard to write it. I mean, the hint book kind of does that. If you've ever read the Quest for Glory hint book, it has the character who shall not be named as the main character.
Oh, the Prima strategy guide to Quest for Glory.
And so...
we can name him Devin Aidendale.
Devin Aidendale
Was the character in
and
that book.
that's where it came from, that
And,
name.
And that name has become canon, and our only problem with it is we're in a Germanic setting, and why the heck do we have a guy with an English-sounding name in a Germanic setting? But other than that, no problem at all with it.
So at any rate, that was the premise. She came to me and said she wanted to write it. At least this was all done verbally. We were emailing that time of the day. And so therefore she had this great idea that instead of having just one hero that does everything, it's not just one hero. It's a family. It's a 3 boys and a girl that each represent one of the character classes, and then we create the story that brings them all together and tells the story that is basically what the series was. And so we did. How we went about this is first we had lots and lots of chats on IRS. Writing
IRC.
IRC.
Relay
Yes.
chat.
Yes. Okay. Thank
IRC.
you. Yeah, IRL wasn't right. At any rate, so yes, we wrote this at distance. She lived in L.A. I lived here in Oakhurst. Corey was living down in L.A. for part of that, so we did get together sometimes. Corey was working on the poker game at that time down in L.A. But most of this was done long distance chatting, and how we did it was a lot of this was written by she took a character and I took a character, and we passed it back and forth. I was the character of Falcon, and I was the character of Wren, and she was Hawk, and she was also Owl. And so that's how we wrote it. We basically role-played through our way through the game. And when we came to the end, we wrote it all up, and we had a manuscript that was the size of the last Harry Potter.
Or the size of Hero You Rogue Redemption.
Yeah, one of the two.
It was a little bit too big for a young adult novel.
Yeah, and we wanted to do this just like Harry Potter, but we didn't want to start out with the last book of Harry Potter. We wanted to do this, start out easy and fun, and then basically get more and more complex as the thing goes on. You will have to be reading the chat things so that if there's anything that needs to come out. Yeah, I know. You don't just sit passively here.
Should we read this little blurb that somebody wrote for the agents?
Well, you could if you wanted to.
I probably could, barely. Let's see, probably Weidenbaum.
Okay, fine.
So we did change some names. There's no Spielberg in this. There's Siegburg, which means Victory Town instead of
so we
Playtown.
We changed, we scraped off the serial numbers for Quest for Glory because we didn't want...
No, it has nothing to do with Quest. It's completely unrelated to Quest for Glory. This is a completely original book.
Yes, entirely. And so this is the book
that is not violating anyone's copyright.
Yes, it is completely different. And this is we did that first version, so then once we did that first version, we had to break it up. And so therefore we broke this book up, this first game up. And that was just the first game. That wasn't the whole series. It was to tell the first game. We had more words than a Harry Potter novel.
So I think they had a 12-book series planned,
yes.
But they only wrote one of them.
So, we wrote 1.5. We wrote the entire game at first, and then we broke it up.
Broke it down.
And this is the only extant copy. This thing I have in my hand is the only copy we have.
Yeah, we don't have it in digital form.
Of the book. This is the book. This is what Michelle Baker, my co-writer, she's now a famous writer now, and a famous author. Michelle Baker was my co-writer, and she is the one who wrote this final version, and so we do not have this.
So, with no further ado, How to Be a Hero Part 1, by the book. And the summary is, Hawk is a 16-year-old boy with holes in his boots and a hand-me-down sword. He can barely draw without falling over. He lives with his brothers and younger sister in an isolated alpine village. Hawk soon realizes that they all have no future in the village, so he leaves to find a new life for himself and his family. And that's probably good enough unless you want me to keep
going. That's probably good enough. Okay, and so now I will start this story of...
Story time with Laurie Cole.
And this is... To Be a Hero. How to Be a Hero. Book 1 by the book. And this is Chapter 1, Beyond the Gate.
Well, first we have a new pun, though.
Oh, we have a good pun?
Yeah, the new pun is from Ace and Rex. Keep scrolling off. When will you publish it for your adoring public? It may not be Bronte, but I bet it's a breath of fresh air.
Okay, that is a good pun. Let us start it out.
And the answer is no time soon, but, we might self-publish at some point.
Right.
We could do a Kickstarter for it, Larry.
Rumor had it.
Or Indiegogo.
We could. But I can't read if you're talking.
Okay.
All right. Rumor had it the gypsies had been spotted in the nearby forest. If the rumors were true, Owl's death was going to be their fault. Hawk flung open the gate leading from the tiny village of Alpendorf, his breath exploding in clouds of frost as he strode down the path. Oh, I didn't have any problem with that. As recently as last year, his anger might have been made childish tears start to his eyes, but at 16, he knew how to compress his fury into a tight little ball and swallow it. The bleating of Alpendorf's sheep faded from his ears as he headed toward the snowy edge of the woods. Here the sheep never grazed, for the forest was thick and full of wild and hungry creatures. Right now, any place was preferable to Alpendorf. It was a lousy, cold, cloudy day, and his feet left deep imprints on the muddy path behind him. If not for the movement of the gypsies, which signaled the melting of the ice from Nordhoff Pass, no one at the village would have known that spring had arrived at the higher altitudes. No one would have known that it was time to drive the sheep to the spring pastures, time to force Hawk and his two brothers to give up their isolated life at the healer's cottage and come along. Falcon, Hawk's twin, was just the kind of sturdy, obedient dullard who would excel as a shepherd. But sickly 14-year-old Owl wouldn't last a week outdoors on these chill nights. If their guardian, Wilhelmina, had still been alive, she would have insisted that Owl stay and continue his apprenticeship with her. He was far better suited to a healer's life than a shepherd's. But Auntie Willie was dead, and so were Hawk's hopes. He tried to stand up to the village elders that afternoon, but to no avail. The headman himself had ordered the three boys to start packing up their belongings, because in 11 days the first quarter moon of the spring would give them enough light to move the sheep to the newly cleared Nordhoff Pass. Damn those gypsies! To make matters worse, Hawk's little sister Wren had been ordered to serve as a household assistant to the headsman's wife, who had only a son. No more climbing trees for Wren, no more practical jokes. They'd make a lady of her yet, they said. Hawk shuddered. The sound of belligerent voices drew him from his dark mood, and he hesitated. Veering off his path, he started toward the noise. If there was a fight going on, Hawk was in a perfect mood to pick a side and start swinging. Some ways off into the forest, Hawk saw Gunnar, the headsman's son. Gunnar was 17, tall and brick solid with the beginnings of a mustache. He was the only boy in the village who could beat Hawk single-handedly in a fistfight, and he had been proving this over and over for as long as Hawk could remember. Just seeing him made Hawk's stomach knot up, and the unpleasant feelings that doubled when he spotted Gunnar's three sidekicks. They'd all ganged up together to pummel someone Hawk could barely see, except for the occasional flash of unusually bright clothing through the moving mass of dull brown wool. A gypsy. Hawk stood back watching for a moment. He heard gypsies were good fighters as well as thieves and kidnappers, so maybe Gunnar could get his own face rearranged for once. There was always hope. As the Alpendorf boys shifted their positions, Hawk got an unexpected glimpse of the gypsy's face. He was small, dark, younger than Hawk had first thought, perhaps 11 or 12. Wren's age. The boy showed no fear, but his eyes were swelling shut and his mouth was a thin line of pain. Gunnar dragged the boy to his feet, but the boy fell down again immediately with a sharp cry. Without even realizing what he was doing, Hawk jogged up to the group and shouted for Gunnar to stop. Gunnar looked over his immense shoulder, and his face broke out in a slow, unpleasant smile. "Hey, Hawk," he sneered. "I should have known you'd show up to defend your relative." Hawk's fist clenched. Being accused of gypsy blood on top of everything else was simply too much. It was ridiculous anyway, since he and his siblings were slender and fair. As foundlings, however, they could be almost anything, and Gunnar never missed an opportunity to remind him. "I don't see why you insist on picking on someone half your size," said Hawk. "Afraid of a fair match?" "What would be a fair match?" countered Gunnar. "A scrawny sheep herder, maybe?" "I'm not a sheep herder," growled Hawk. "Sure you are," said Gunnar. "You're lucky that I let you do that instead of sewing frocks like your sister." The image made a vein throb in Hawk's temple. You'd make a better lady than me," he said through clenched teeth, "seeing as you always have an escort to protect you." In response, Gunnar jerked his head towards his companions, signaling them to step away. Then he beckoned Hawk with a single curt gesture. Hawk rushed him eagerly, and the two grappled for a moment, straining for the advantage. Hawk became suddenly aware that he had grown quite a bit over the winter. He was now nearly eye level with Gunnar. No sooner had Hawk experienced a joyous rush of confidence than he felt Gunnar's boot slam him in the kneecap, sending him buckling forward. Hawk threw his weight against Gunnar, and they both tumbled to the ground. The two boys rolled this way and that on the muddy forest floor, punching and kicking and howling. Hawk felt a fist smash into his eye and a boot connect numbingly with his ankle. Ignoring the pain and the hot blood streaming down his cheek, Hawk kept struggling and punching. At last he felt the immense satisfaction of Gunnar's nose breaking against his fist. To Hawk's astonishment, Gunnar rolled onto his side, pressing both hands to his face, and began to bawl like a baby. Hawk rose pantingly to his feet and squared off against Gunnar's three companions. Two of them immediately lifted their hands in surrender, while the third scrambled to pull Gunnar up off the ground. Then, without another word, the four of them beat a hasty retreat to the village. Hawk stood for a moment, delighted and dazed, then shook the mud out of his hair. That big ox would think twice before challenging him again. Hawk heard a faint sound and turned. The gypsy child was still struggling to rise to his feet. A quick glance at the grotesquely twisted foot told Hawk that the boy's ankle was probably broken. Night was falling, the wind was rising, and now the boy was finally beginning to look frightened. "Can you find your way home all right?" said Hawk reluctantly. "Okay." "Zetsch!" snarled the boy at him. Hawk had no idea what it meant, but he had a pretty good idea that it wasn't, "I'm fine, thanks." Glancing out at the forest, Hawk repressed a shudder. Occasionally in broad daylight he had ventured into the edges of the forest to hunt small game, but now dusk was approaching rapidly. Larger, more dangerous creatures would be prowling about, not to mention the gypsies themselves. Hawk really ought to be getting back to the village. The boy was nothing but a thief and a tramp. He was obviously used to running around in the forest and could probably take care of himself. Hawk started to turn back along the mud path, and then he hesitated. Would the boy find his people before something else found him? Considering that the poor boy would probably have to crawl home, the odds were against him. Hawk shook his head at his own foolishness. The very idea of risking his life for a gypsy. The boy would probably repay him by stabbing him in the back. Nevertheless, Hawk slowly approached the boy the way he would a wild animal, prepared to spring back at any moment. The young gypsy just crouched in the snow, watching him with wary, pale yellow eyes. Wren had often been teased about her gypsy eyes, but hers was a natural shade of amber, nothing like the creepy animal hue of the pair that were now fixed on Hawk's face. The fear that snaked through Hawk in response was nothing like he had felt at the sight of Gunnar. This was something more primal and harder to shake. Hawk hesitated, then he reached out to help the child to his feet. He tried to guide the boy's arm around his waist, but the boy let out another string of gypsy epithets and fought him, nearly falling over again. But at last the boy seemed to understand his own predicament and relaxed, leaning on Hawk with obvious reluctance. Together they hobbled through the darkened forest. As they made their way deeper into the forest, the furtive sounds of nocturnal animals made the hairs rise on the back of Hawk's neck. The ground, turning rapidly from mud to slush as they walked, was noisy and thick beneath his feet. His eyes strained to pierce through the dusky gloom into the crowded evergreens beyond. Twice he swore as he caught a shadow of something slipping through the trees, now on the right, now on the left. Was it the same creature circling them, or two predators stalking them from either side? Soon it would be too dark to tell. The boy at his side seemed undisturbed, but Hawk himself was not so confident. The slush turned to ice, then ice to snow. At last they came to a ring of 6 gaudily painted wagons, arranged in a rough semicircle around a crackling bonfire. Beautiful, sleek gypsy horses wandered through the area untethered, their belled manes jingling as they snuffled through the snow for bits of winter grass. Before Hawk and the boy could enter the camp, they were intercepted by a group of 5 men and 2 large, bristling gray dogs. The dogs growled, and Hawk's own hair stood on end in response. They were shaggy, feral-looking animals with long, pointed snouts and golden yellow eyes. Not dogs, Hawk realized. Wolves. The 5 men were broad and muscular, with dark curly hair and skin in various shades of bronze. Upon sighting the men, the boy let go of Hawk and tried to hobble forward. A man with a peppering of silver in his black hair took a step forward, his jaw set and his shoulders squared for a confrontation. All the other men watched him expectantly. Ignoring Hawk, the man said something to the boy in a guttural voice. The boy replied quietly with his head down. To Hawk's horror, the man abruptly slapped the boy to the ground. Before Hawk could respond, the leader picked the boy back up, held him at arm's length, and spoke to him again, laughing. The boy nodded sullenly, and then his face slowly broke out in a rueful smile. The leader handed the boy to the man beside him, who hoisted the boy effortlessly into his arms and carried him off. Then the leader turned to Hawk. The slight softness in his face disappeared immediately. He stepped towards Hawk, speaking again in his strange, growling language. His yellow eyes snapped with anger. Hawk started to back away, then realized he was surrounded. He could see that the leader knew his fear. With another growl, the leader gestured for his men to withdraw, opening the path for Hawk's retreat. Then the leader took a step closer to Hawk and glared at him with a clear challenge, pointing harshly toward the way out. Hawk couldn't understand the words, but the meaning was clear. Run away, little boy, if you're afraid. Beads of sweat formed on Hawk's forehead, but he stood his ground. The leader stepped closer and barked a command again, his eyes reflecting the fire eerily in the twilight. The gypsy drew his lips back in a snarl of hostility, revealing pointed canines like the wolves. Hawk stumbled a step backwards, then stopped himself. He had seen what a wolf pack did to the prey the moment it turned its back. He felt safer facing his foes. Hawk and the gypsy stared at each other down from within spitting distance. Luminous yellow eyes bored into Hawk's, but Hawk refused to give in to his fear. Suddenly, a hand lashed out from behind the gypsy, savagely boxing the man's ear. Hawk turned to stare in shock, and he saw a wizened old woman leaning on a crutch. He hadn't even noticed her approach. The man cringed, hanging his head, and the old woman let out a rapid-fire string of babble so caustic that even Hawk winced. The 5 men, clearly chastened, slunk away, leaving Hawk and this old lady to stare at one another in the ruddy firelight. Her eyes, too, were moon-yellow. She looked him over for a moment, and Hawk found himself holding his breath. Then, still silent, she turned her back on him and began to hobble away. Hawk exhaled slowly, thinking it safe to leave. Suddenly, the old woman wheeled around and hobbled back toward him. Before Hawk could decide how to react, she grabbed him by the neck of his shirt, pulling him toward her. She then led him towards the large wagon painted in vivid shades of lapis, emerald, and gold. The old gypsy woman climbed up into the back of the wagon and motioned for Hawk to enter. Afraid of having his ears boxed, he obeyed. Inside the dimly lit space smelled pleasantly of lavender and pine. The walls were lined with what looked like open drawers. A hanging lantern cast swaying, tremulous shadows across the room, giving Hawk the uneasy feeling that the wagon had begun to move, carrying him far away. The gypsy sat down facing him and pulled out a small bench between them to use as a table. When Hawk sat down, she poured a drink from a green glass bottle into a wooden cup and swallowed it in one gulp. She poured again and handed the cup to Hawk, indicating that he should drink. He tried to imitate her actions and nearly sprayed her with the burning liquor before he managed to choke it down. She snorted with obvious annoyance, but he could swear that one corner of her mouth flickered with amusement. Perhaps it was the unsteady light. Putting the cup back on the shelf, the gypsy woman turned to stare at Hawk once for a moment. Without taking her eyes from his, she reached into one of the side drawers and pulled out 3 leather bags. Her movements were confident, almost hypnotic. She spilled the contents of the first bag on the left side of the bench they were using as a table. Leaning closer, Hawk saw a small pile of gold coins. Hawk had never seen so much money. Elbendorf was a barter-based community with very little need for coins. The gypsy emptied a second bag on the opposite of the bench. It held a small sheathed dagger with a handle of a carved bone in the shape of a wolf's head. The third bag, larger, she opened carefully and displayed its contents in the center of the bench. It held a plain wooden box with a latch. The gypsy waved her hand over the coins, the box, the dagger. Then she held her hand up, palm outward towards Hawk, and gave it a final flourish. Choose. Hawk's eyes immediately flickered to the gold on the left side of the bench. But what good would it do in Alpendorf? The dagger looked interesting, but he had his own blade waiting for him back at the healer's hut. A beautiful, shining, mysterious sword that he had owned for as long as he could remember. He had no need for a lesser weapon. Furthermore, the box intrigued Hawk. He reached for it to see what was on the inside, but the gypsy gave his hand a sharp smack and scowled, shaking her head. Then she repeated the previous gestures: the coins, the box, the daggers. Choose. After a moment's deliberation, Hawk pointed to the box. To his surprise, the old lady smiled. Carefully, she put the box into the bag and handed it back to him. After cleaning the other gifts and stowing them away, she shooed him out of the wagon. The men Hawk had seen before were hovering anxiously outside, watching as the old woman followed Hawk out. Hawk watched as the 2 gypsies' eyes met. The man asked her a question, and she answered. They both laughed heartily. Then the man turned to Hawk, clapped him hard on the back, and motioned him out of the camp. 2 of the younger men accompanied Hawk back to the village. They hung some distance behind him, talking and laughing, but Hawk had no idea what they were saying. Their hostility had seemed to have vanished, however, replaced by rollicking amusement. When they came in sight of the village gate, the 2 men nodded at Hawk. Hawk turned and watched as they faded back into the shadows. After a moment, he heard footsteps approaching him, and turned to see the familiar silhouette of his twin. In the fading light, Hawk could just make out the tousled gold of his brother's hair, and he didn't have to see Falcon's face to know it was tight with worry. I'm fine, Hawk said in response to his twin's unasked question. I knew you'd be all right, said Falcon quietly. I'm sorry that the elders made you so angry. Hawk just gave a stiff shrug. He didn't want to think about the elders right now. I see you got into a fight, observed Falcon as they walked side by side back to the healer's hut. I broke Gunnar's nose. Falcon's mouth closed as though to express disapproval. But then he closed it again. Apparently, even the tender-hearted Falcon couldn't find it in himself to be upset at Gunnar's misfortune. I also went to the gypsy camp, Hawk added. At this, Falcon stopped in his tracks and turned forward fully to face him. Why? What happened to you? I'll tell you when we get home. The hut where Hawk lived was still referred to as the Healer's, even though there was no longer a healer in residence. It stood at the far end of the village, beside the area where the sheep were bedded in for the winter time. Tonight, the glassless windows were shuttered against the chill winds, giving the outside a bleak and cheerless appearance. Snow clung to the thatch on the north side of the roof, above the door. As Hawk and Falcon approached, a smell of wood smoke and stewed cabbage welcomed him forward. The front door flew open before Hawk could touch it. Wren was there waiting, dancing from one foot to another. I thought you had run away forever, she said, looking almost disappointed. Stolen a gypsy horse and gone off to become a highwayman. Hawk ruffled her boyish cropped hair, which had recently been cut yet again as a solution to hopeless tangles. You won't believe what happened to me, Hawk said, gesturing for them all to join him at Wilhelmina's old work table. Owl, thoroughly absorbed in his history book, took a bit longer to join them. His deep blue-black eyes were distant, and his slightly too long hair was rumpled from where he'd been leaning against the wall. Hawk related the story of the boy and the gypsies, and found that his audience was instantly rapt, even Owl. None of them had ever met a gypsy in person before, although Wilhelmina had done some trading with them from time to time. As his story came to a close, Hawk brought out the gypsy's box and set it on the table. And this is what I chose, he said by way of conclusion. What's in it? asked Wren, squirming in her chair. I don't know, said Hawk. That's what we're all about to find out. Wren rubbed her hands together with obvious glee. Even Falcon and Owl were leaning forward ever so slightly, their eyes fixed on the box. Slowly, enjoying the suspense, Hawk opened the lid. Inside the box was a small, battered book of cheaply bound paper. The title page read, How to be a Hero. Hawk's heart sank instantly. He could have been rich. Even the knife would have been more useful than a stupid book. No wonder the gypsies had laughed. He must have made their night. Is that all? Said Wren with obvious disappointment. Falcon looked sympathetically back at Hawk, as though reading his thoughts. Hawk tried not to scowl. Well done, said Owl finally. Hawk was used to his brother's sarcasm, but when Hawk looked up, he saw instead a look of intense interest lighting his younger brother's peaked face. I don't suppose you'd have any use for a book, Owl went on, reaching for it. I most certainly do, said Hawk, laying his hand protectively over his dubious prize. I know how to read. You'd never know it, said Owl. I earned this book, said Hawk stubbornly, and it's mine. I'm going to read it right now. In fact, I'm going to stay up until I've finished it. Have it your way, said Owl. His face and voice were expressionless, but Hawk knew he was annoyed. Excitement over for the night, the siblings dispersed to go about their business. Owl went back to his history. Wren began making an elaborate cat's cradle out of Auntie Willie's best yarn. And Falcon simply lay down on the straw in the corner, his blue eyes drowsy and thoughtful. Hawk, still at the table, reached into the box and drew out the little book. Bored already, he turned to the first page. Welcome, hero, it read. Hawk snorted. Boy, had this book found the wrong guy. Amused, he read on. You may believe that you are not a hero. You may believe that your life is so mean, so low, so helpless and full of drudgery that you can never rise above it. But I, the famous adventurer of Samaria, know differently. Hawk found himself straightening in his chair, leaning slightly forward in the dim light. This is a special book. It only finds its way into the hands of the few, the proud, the true heroes. No matter what your station, no matter how humble your life may be, now that you have found this book, you have only to follow the steps contained herein, and soon you will be showered with unimaginable riches and glory. A little shudder passed through Hawk. Could it be true? But first you must pay the price to make this book your own. Glory cannot be borrowed, and heroism cannot be stolen. Once this book is truly yours, the world will soon follow, and you shall have whatever you secretly and passionately desire. When you are ready and have paid the price, you may turn the page. Hawk hesitated. He hadn't paid anything. But he supposed in a sense that he had paid the gypsy's price by saving their boy. They'd given him the book to him freely, so it was his, wasn't it? With trembling hands, slowly, Hawk turned the page, and thus his adventure began.
In chapter 1.
As I said, one chapter. These are long chapters. So that is the first chapter of this book, and it sets up who our protagonists will be. And that's the beginning of the story. Encore. Well.
So the idea on this is we said in the as our secret giveaway when the Kickstarter campaign for Summer Daze hit 1,000 backers, we announced that Lori was going to read the first chapter of that book. And for every 50 backers, we thought 100, but then I said, no, we really want to get through this. So for every 50 backers after that, she's going to read another chapter. We're already up over 1,100. So 3 chapters are in the queue. And at these various live streams and so on, Lori will be continuing to read the book.
Yeah.
1 chapter at a time.
And let's see, how many chapters were there in this?
23.
23 chapters. 23 chapters to get halfway through the game. And then... So there were a lot of words written for this. All right. So that was the passive reading time. That was story time with Lori.
So the Story Witch Gen X asks, is the book going to be actually published? And the answer is maybe someday. So this book was written 15 years ago, and the 2 authors moved away from each other and went their separate ways. Michelle had children, got married, became a famous author. Lori, I don't know, what did you do? Retreated to the foothills.
I didn't do anything.
And they felt that, okay, this is a pretty good, second or third or fourth draft, whatever it's up to, but it isn't quite polished enough. It's not quite ready for publication. And they've just never had time to actually get back to it. So perhaps, now that we're starting to read it, that I think it's pretty close to a good book.
It's pretty close, yeah.
It needs a little bit of editing. Maybe we need to do something about the gypsies and call them something else.
Yeah. I mean, we want to be,
politically correct.
Well, not politically, but respectful of other
Respectful,
people.
yes.
Yeah. And this does read, there's a couple lines that I winced at because they felt a little dated, like, I didn't want to say that, but that's okay.
But that's okay. We can make it better.
So, yes.
So, in our copious free time, and that's the problem, of course, is, there's only one of Lori, and she's busy writing Summer Daze at Hero U, and before that, she was busy writing Hero U Road Redemption, and we've got a lot of games in the queue. But somewhere in between there, maybe she'll find time to rewrite a book and get it out there.
Yeah. All right. Yes, we will definitely do this. We will pick this up on our next Saturday stream. But we're going to have a live stream before next Saturday.
And that will be, excuse me. That will be Halloween Day, which is October 31st, the Eve of All Hallows Day.
Eve of All Hallows.
What am I doing?
Yeah, and just scooting into the camera so you can actually be
camera.
seeing. Yeah, so we actually get to see.
I have my list, but I don't really need it. So Halloween Day, starting at 1 p.m. Pacific Time, PDT. I think we're still on PDT on Halloween. It's almost, we're going to be changing to PST pretty soon. But what about that? Okay, so anyway, Halloween Day, 1 p.m. till as late as we run. That might be 10 p.m., that might be midnight. Probably won't be a lot after midnight.
No, but it depends on how many people show up too.
Yeah, so if we get a big crowd in here and people coming in and out of it, then our plan for that is, because it's hard to talk for 10 hours, is...
It only seems that way.
All right, maybe I do all the time.
Yes.
We'll be live streaming. We'll be playing through Quest for Glory 4, Shadows of Darkness, the CD-ROM version, as we're not masochistic enough to do the purple box version. And I think we'll be playing as a wizard this time. And we're going to tell some stories as we go about the development of that game and what it was like working at Sierra and
history, yes.
Yeah, and how it kind of relates to movies and all sorts of things.
And how important this game was to us, what it meant. So, I mean, we love Shadows of Darkness. We'll have to talk about that. We will also have special guests at our house for this, and we'll have surprises. We'll have other games. We'll have treats because it's trick-or-treat night. So we will definitely have tricks and treats on Halloween.
And there will be more contests and prizes in between.
Yep. Well, those are the treats.
Those are the treats?
Yeah. So we will have a lot of tricks
No
and
chocolate?
treats. No chocolate. Not right now. We're out of chocolate. So, at any rate, we will be hoping to see some of you, at least for part of the stream on Halloween. What day is it? 2 days, 3 days from now?
That would be 4 days from now.
Okay,
Let's
it's Thursday?
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. No, 5 days. 5 days from now. Thursday, October 31st, 1 p.m. PDT, Pacific Time, California Time. And please convert that to your local time zone. We'll be right here on twitch.tv/TranssolarGames.
And we'll have a very special spooky evening for everybody. Even though it'll start in the middle of the day, it's going to be spooky somewhere, in the world. So.
And so some people mentioned they couldn't get to Twitch. We will be posting today's event and the Halloween one on YouTube as well. But who wants to watch a 12-hour video?
I don't know. It seems a little, but
we might break it down. Maybe we'll stop and start it so we can do like three 4-hour videos.
Episodic. We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, I can always click that record button and then click it again. We'll end up with multiple videos, I think.
Okay.
So what else? What's next on the agenda
next
for tonight?
On the agenda is a game where everybody can play.
Yay!
And once again, we're going to queue up our thing. You bring up the queue, Corey.
Bring up the queue. Okay, I'm going to open the queue. You will type...
Wait a second. I want to tell them what the game is before you start it. We're playing Question Quest. So if you can find Question over there, it's up near the top.
Okay, Storytime Question...
Question Quest. This is a 20 questions game. Okay?
Also known as Botticelli and a few other things like that.
And
so we're going to give you a category.
No, we're not.
Oh, we don't?
It's 20 questions. They have to figure out the question. But the category is something out of Quest for Glory. So that is the something.
The meta category.
The meta category. So then we will call on people to ask questions. And then they will get to ask a question, and then they can make a guess. It's just like the other game, except that they only get one question at a time.
And what you want to do here is you're not guessing a letter or anything. You're going to try to narrow it down a little bit.
Yeah.
So the old one used to be, is it animal, vegetable, or mineral? And of course you can't ask that.
Ask that.
Yes or no. But you can say, is it an animal? Is it alive? Is it... is it bigger than the Empire State Building?
Here's the deal. We will only take 20 questions. But we'll call on people to ask those questions. But once we reach that 20 level, and if nobody's guessed it, then it'll be free form, and anybody can make a guess of what it is. So that's how we play this. And so therefore, we're opening the thing.
And we have people have been typing exclamation point join to join the queue, and we will give you 15 more seconds to type exclamation point join. If you haven't done it yet, do it now or just observe.
Right, or yes, the only way to play is to join in. So, yeah, you know.
Oh, Rich Gen X wants to join. Well, we don't do any of that psychedelic stuff here. That's because we're really poor and we can't afford it.
Ah, yes.
Okay, on your mark. But if you support our Kickstarter campaign, which Mary Jess could, you just put in the meme contest, and we'll remind you to go to the page that Mary Jess just linked, the memes, and vote for your favorite meme, because that's a contest that's ongoing all this week. And then support Summer Daze at Hero U on Kickstarter, or at least go there and make sure you go to itch.io or Steam and download the demo, play the prototype. It'll give you a pretty good feel for what the game will be like. And I am going to close the queue now.
Who is our first contestant?
And our first contestant, picked at random from the 25 people who have joined the queue, is Blue Shock 12.
Blue Shock 12, what is your question?
Yeah, type in the question and we will give you a yes or no answer that applies to what it is we're thinking of. Of course, I don't know all the answers to this.
Oh, Commander Clueless. Yes, there is a demo. Just like there is a Kickstarter.
Yes, there is a prototype. It's on itch.io on the Transfer Games. Okay, is it alive?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
No, it's one of those things. That
All
was
right,
a good
Lori
question.
says yes. That's a great question.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, this was
Yes,
a terrible,
yes.
terrible thing to guess because I wasn't sure if I knew the
All
answer.
right, you want to make a guess? Blue Shock. Blue Shock, yes. All right, you want to make a guess?
Next up is...
No.
Wait.
He gets to guess, just
He
like
gets
the
to
other.
guess, but while he's getting guess, I'm going to
All right,
say the
cue
next
up the next one.
is Leisure Suit Louie.
Leisure Suit Louie, you may make your guess.
Or your question. You may do a question.
Are they bringing Hero U to Switch? That's yeah. We'll put that on the list of things
Hero
to talk
U
about.
to Switch.
Put
We'll
that
talk
in
about
yes.
that.
Hero U to Switch. Okay, fine.
Hero U plans.
Yeah. So basically, this is a game you play in QFG4 to Cranium's house to find the specific animal fact. Very, very similar. Yeah. All right.
Leisure Suit Louie asks, is it an inventory item?
The answer is
no. It's not an inventory
Next
item.
is Vesper Stardust. Vesper Stardust, you are up to ask a question. Will it get an amiibo? I have no idea. I didn't even know what an amiibo is.
I know what they are, but
Okay. It's not likely.
maybe not likely. All right, Vesper Stardust. Is it a character? I would say no.
No. Okay. Next question is from Game Archaeologist. Okay. Next
I seem to be all sniffly here, no doubt from listening to that story. So
It was a
pardon me
sniffly
loud
story.
noises I make.
Yeah.
It made me sniffle.
I wish it made us feel cold because it
Pass me
was sitting
Kleenex,
there.
please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh. Game Archaeologist, you are up.
Said, well, he did already ask, will it get an amiibo? So,
No. Is it a land?
Is it a land? No, it is not.
Next. The next person on the question list is
Anchovy Meatball.
Anchovy Meatball is up. Let's see.
Oh, Rich, thanks for coming. Really appreciate you being here. And
Oh, yeah,
congratulations
thanks.
on being a winner.
Yes. And, yes, any rate, this chat isn't working for me at all.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, sir. Let's see. Anchovy Meatball asks, is it humanoid?
No.
No, 'tis not.
Next is going to be,
Decobrill.
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 Deco Brill, who said farewell, now gets to ask a question.
I think he was saying farewell to
I hope, yeah. Is now get to ask the question. Is it sentient? Yes. He has a yes question. He may now make a guess.
If you wish. I'm glad Lori knows the answers to these.
Make a guess.
And while you're guessing, I will let Classic Gamers Guild come in. And thank you so much for your sponsorship. And you may ask a question. Classic Gamers Guild. Thank you so much for your sponsorship.
Yeah. Straight up guess. What is it?
Straight up guess what it is, if you wish.
If you wish, or you can pass because you didn't get enough in.
Straight up guess what it is.
Shovel Knight has several amiibos on the Nintendo system. Huh.
Yeah, I would guess because we are not a Nintendo.
And Deco Brill asks, is it a meep?
And the answer is no.
Okay.
That's a great guess, though.
And so, Classic Gamers Guild, what did you guess? What are you going to ask a question?
Which I don't think that's a yes or no answer.
No, I think he's waiting for a good question. Is it a creature?
Yes. Yes, it is a creature.
You now make a guess. Make a mild guess.
And is it a dryad? No, it is not.
It is not a dryad. Okay, our next question is from
Giselle AI.
Or yeah, Giselle. Aye.
Giselle. Aye. You are.
Yes, it is your turn to ask a yes or no question, and you can actually cue them up if you type it in and not.
Oh, actually, I think.
Is it a creature you fight?
Yes.
All right. You want to make a guess on what it is? Would I consider dryads humanoid? Yes, I would consider them to be humanoid when they're in human form. Otherwise, they're trees,
Giselle guesses centaur. That is not correct.
No, it is not a centaur. And now we get to do.
I queued up 2. I probably
see.
could have done more. Okay, right. Gorok 3.
Gorok 3, what is your question? It is not how low, even though we'll just give you that. Just it's a freebie.
Okay, Gorok 3.
That's going to be my question.
We're up to Gorok.
Okay, Gorok.
Does it appear in Quest for Glory 1? No.
No. Okay.
Up to TK421.
That's going to be my question.
We're up to Gorok. TK421. Does it appear in Quest for Glory 1? Has something to do with marijuana? The exclamation point.
All right.
Joint.
Are Tars, centaur, lion? No, they aren't human. Well, I don't know. I'd have to look up the definition.
Well, it depends. I think a centaur is humanoid. A cheetar and a lion tar are not humanoid. Or maybe they are.
Transsolar Games.
Lion
Check
tar.
your chat.
Okay,
here.
I mean, yeah, Rakesh is humanoid.
I guess so.
Okay, so let's see. TK, you may get to ask a question, and if you get a yes answer, then you get to make a guess.
I think that's a good term for it. Demi-humanoid. Because, yes, humanoid is usually bipedal. That's usually the definition of humanoid. So make it a demi-humanoid, and that fits it.
Okay, is it in more than one game?
No.
No, only in one game.
Okay, next.
And that game is not Quest for Glory 1. Do you wish to guess?
No, he can't make a guess unless they get a yes.
Oh, we got to know. That's right. Okay.
Okay, fine. Pick a random, and the random is...
Okay, the next random is Anna Vig.
No, he can't make a Viggy? Viggy? I can't remember. Sorry, Anna.
You told us, and we're sorry.
Yeah, no,
can't remember
because we're bad. We're really bad.
We're old. We got an excuse.
Yeah.
Vigu.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. A humanoid, from English human, is something that has the appearance resembling a human without actually being with. Yeah, it
1870 was the first use of the form, referring to indigenous people in areas colonized by Europeans. Oh, that's a great use of the word. Oh, sweet.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Anna, you're supposed to be asking us a question.
Yeah. Let's see. Under D&D rules, it's basically anatomical shape, 2 arms, two legs, 1 head. Yes. So I think the demi-humanoid is a perfect word for it, and we'll keep that in mind for now on.
Is it smaller than a toaster? It is not
smaller than a toaster. Next on the list is sweet potato mousse.
Sweet potato mousse.
And that's, you know, you can make a mousse out of sweet potatoes, but you
What's
can't
a
make
toaster? Okay, a toaster is a box of metal, stone, or wood that you place in the fire.
All right, sweet potato mousse actually has a question.
Is it in Quest for Glory 2? The answer is no.
That's the most sweet mousse I ever saw. I nearly bit my nose off.
It's
a brave little appliance. Yes, indeed. Okay, fine. Next on this.
Borgenstein.
Borgenstein has a question. Let's see. The parser doesn't understand toaster. I'm sticking with Allo. He's definitely bigger than a toaster. Yes.
Brave little toaster. So Borgenstein, ask us a yes or no question.
Toasters are used to hurl toast at poor under. Is it magical in nature? Yes.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
You may guess
guess
what sort of a creature this is, Borgenstein.
Yes. Unsuspecting people who are hiding behind their newspapers. Ah, yes.
I'm supposed to be keeping track of a number of questions.
I know we are.
Yes, I believe so. Somewhere
I
around
hope
there.
somebody's keeping track of this because
I'm
we're
more or
bad.
less doing it. It'll be approximately 20.
Mm-hmm.
Video stalled longer than usual, my end.
That's always a nuisance. I get that on mine whenever we do this. Stalled for you too. Ooh. I hope somebody's keeping track of this because we're bad.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because we have this browser open and shouldn't.
No, I don't. Oh, do you have a?
But if I close that browser, that will improve my performance because it
Could
does.
be.
Okay.
Had to reload. Blah. Oh, 14. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Did you wish to guess an answer? Was it Borgenstein was up?
Yeah, it was Borgenstein.
So had a network error, had to reload. But do you have a guess, Borgenstein?
Wow, the echo stopped. Okay, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
All right. So what that means is that window that I thought had our Kickstarter on it probably actually had Twitch on it. And so we were echoing through there. And
Yeah.
I apologize for that.
Guesses don't count as the 20, right? Yes, you're correct. We're only
Right.
counting.
Guesses are fine. Okay, Borgenstein, running out of time. Do you have a guess?
Cool. Well, we fixed that. Gee. Is it a flying fish?
It is not a flying fish. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
fine.
Okay, up next is Enchantermon.
Enchantamon.
Enchantermon.
Well, make it sound like Trollmon.
Trollmon. No, Enchantermon. That's fine. No clue is fine. Hey, we made this harder on usual ones. Does it have wings? The answer is no. Does not have wings.
Okay.
Next up is Audio Eric.
Eric, do you have a question?
Can't do it audibly, though.
Yes. Good hero mon. Does it have 4 legs?
I believe the
That
answer
is cool.
is yes.
Fine.
Yes, says Audio Eric. Now there's more that you think. Sorry,
There
5 left.
God,
7.
he's keeping track.
Okay.
I would say I'd
Audio
go with
Eric.
Brainiac.
Yes, it has 4 legs. Do you wish to take a guess?
What is it? Gee, Borgenstein is telling, letting people keep track of the real thing.
And 4 legs. That's not in Quest for Glory
Okay,
1 or 2.
good people. Is it a necrotar?
Why, I have written down here the answer to this, and the answer written down is so small that nobody can read it. But if we could, it would say Necrotar.
Necrotar, yay!
And the winner is Audio Eric.
Audio
Congratulations.
Eric. He
In
is
fewer
winner.
than 20 questions.
In fewer, not much fewer, but we
didn't quite stump you, but you did really, really well.
Congratulations. And what prize do we have for him?
We have this prize.
We have a lovely prize for you.
An amazing prize.
Yes, I will click this off. I will click this on. Oh, it didn't click off. There it clicks off. And we will show you that wonderful prize.
You are getting the Katrina print by... Now, this is Audio Eric.
Audio Eric, you have won. Congratulations, you won a beautiful prize.
And get in touch with Roberta Vaughn, and she'll get your information so we can send it to you.
I can't beat Necrotars without using strategy mode to do the fighting. Well, that's why we put in the strategy mode.
And
And
they're really tough.
they are tough, and it's because not all of us are Twitch players, but I have to tell you, I honestly, when I was playtesting this game, I did not use strategy mode. I did it manually all the time, and I really enjoyed it because, I really actually liked Street Fighter game when it was out, and so this was kind of modeled after that.
Yeah, Quest for Glory 4 was one of those weird things where we actually got what we asked for.
Right.
Lori and I both enjoyed playing Street Fighter 2, and we thought it'd be cool to have a combat interface like that. Henry, you are a programmer. I was just having a random discussion. I said, one of these days I would really like to put fuzzy logic artificial intelligence into a game. And to my shock, since SCI did not have much power, Henry said, "Oh, I can do AI, fuzzy AI in this." And sure enough, he came up with a fuzzy logic AI system that allowed us to have the, setting your parameters for the combat.
Anyway, we'll have a lot.
It's pretty cool.
We'll have a lot of anecdotes,
especially about Quest for Glory 4. That's
yes,
true.
all about 4 on Thursday.
On Thursday, at
because
Halloween
we
Day.
have so many stories and things like that. So.
Okay, we already did the break.
Right.
Although we will once again mix the Kickstarter.
Yes. Okay,
ending.
for the break. We will talk about, this is almost over, but, and we are running long. I'm sorry if anybody,
we started late.
yeah, but not by our standards. We started
recording late.
We started recording late, but we almost started this game right on time, barely 5 minutes. It was what we call, SCA time. It was right on time.
By Stuart, I do. I've read books on it.
All right. So what's coming up? We're going to have that Halloween thing on Thursday. We'll have another live stream at this same time period on the following Saturday, and we will have that as an AMA. Ask us anything. So all of you people that want to come, join us. And you can ask about anything you want to ask. Not that you couldn't hear, but it's a chance to just talk about all sorts of things. And it'll all be, you people will be the people to bring up the questions and that. Just like a regular AMA. And we will also have some contests then. So it won't be all boring listening to us talk, we hope. But the most important thing that we have been doing all this month is we have been doing we've been having a series of games to have a grand prize. And the first game we played was competitions to see who could tweet the most. And then we had the game to see who could do the most memes and things like that. And the grand prize for these things is a fantasy role-playing game online with Corey as the DM.
And that's the other thing that got us into Sierra besides... what was the first one I'd said got us into Sierra? Oh, Atari ST. So besides the Atari ST, everything converged. And this is how luck works, by the way. If you want luck to happen, you help it happen. And you make yourself available when luck finds you. So I had been working for 3 years on a project for the Atari ST that I had to cancel. That was a desktop publishing system I was developing. And Sierra needed an Atari ST programmer. That was phase one. The other phase is that Lori and I, as lifelong gamers, I had created a D&D dungeon module called the Tower of Indomitable Circumstance, published by Judges Guild. When our friend Carly Hawksdaughter, who is an animator on King's Quest IV, contacted us. She said, Ken Williams is looking for an expert tournament level award-winning dungeon master to do a game. And I said, well, I'm a published dungeon master. So I went in and I waved my copy of Tower of Indomitable Circumstances. I should do, right? Never mind. So I waved this module in front of Ken Williams and said, yes, I am not just a published author. I have published a fantasy game role-playing scenario. And he said, oh, then you must be the person... No, not really. You're a Atari ST programmer. But your wife, she sounds pretty smart. Maybe we can get her to
It
write our
didn't
next
sound
game.
anything like that, but that was the gist of it at any rate. So at any rate, he wrote this scenario. That's how we met, over a D&D game where he was running this scenario. And we will have it, a live stream D&D game, and the grand winners of our prizes
And
will
I'm guessing this will be mid-October, mid-November?
Yeah, mid-November.
Mid-November we'll probably do that.
Yes. And the people who win will get a choice of characters. And these characters will all have a custom portrait created by Mouse Mary Jest. So you will get your own character, which will already have stats and a personality, and you get to role play it. You'll have a choice.
And boy, will it have a personality. These
Personalities.
characters are pretty wild.
These characters are well, what I would say are expert level role playing. So you get to be an expert role player by choosing these characters.
Let's see, 1981, $5 in 1981 is probably about $15, between $13 and $15 today.
And as
Buck Rogers says $10,491. Well, that's the actual value of it. So we've got the value as opposed to the price. The price, you do occasionally see Tower of Indomitable Circumstance on eBay. If you buy it, you're going to have to do a little translation because Judges Guild sort of left out page 1 of the module. And page 1 was the one that explained all the terminology I used in it.
Yeah, so you really like the early days of D&D. You made stuff up.
Yeah, so there was, L and S armor. Well, what was that? That was leather and shield, which in D&D would have just said armor class 6.
Right, well, whatever.
Later became armor class 7. When They
Okay.
changed leather.
All right. All right, so at any rate, we have that wonderful gift, and with some awesome, you will get to be, we'll have 6 to 8 players will all play together in this game with these crazy characters that will be, they're unique. The game system will be set in a Gloriana world, and it's not going to be canon, but it will be definitely a rule system that's very similar to...
I'm going to be doing this on the fly, and we'll see how good I am at that. Probably not. But I'm going to try and use something like the spells and skills
they all have the skills
that are in Quest for Glory and in Hero U, and all mixing it together. Here's the module.
The actual module. All right.
And that little fairy in there, I think, has nothing whatsoever to do with it, but she's cute. The artists like drawing fairies.
And this is what will happen. This is the next thing we're going to do. That is what the winner of the meme contest will win.
Okay.
So, if you have not yet done it,
already voted.
Go over to the vote.
Quick, Mary Jest, put the link on there again.
Yes, you have a few seconds yet to put in your vote to see who's the best meme and to judge who will have a seat at the table.
Uh-oh, he didn't put in the link.
Oh, no. Well, he hasn't yet. Yeah, he probably has to find it, too.
See, I had to close my browser.
Okay, I'll tell you, there are some interesting characters. Yes. Coming, yes. Okay, so we have characters like a...
Oh, it's coming. Mary Jess is bringing it up again.
And a goon fighter who'd really rather be a ballet dancer.
There it is. So quick, bounce off of this chat and go into your browser. And, well, all right, just click on that link that Mary Jess gave you. It'll probably bring up your browser.
Yes.
And glance through all those memes. And the one that you think is the coolest, the most fun, the funniest, the best, click on it.
Because
you get one choice.
You get one choice. So pick your best meme and vote now.
Choose wisely.
The memes, not the memes. They're in my eyes. Yes, some of those are type of memes. There are a few of those. If whatever happened to the Vorpal Bunny? Well, you can get a Vorpal Bunny. There's a stuffed Vorpal Bunny. Oh, well, what is it?
What?
With a bunny from... the bunny that the Vorpal Bunny was modeled after. The one in Monty Python. There is actually a stuffed Vorpal Bunny, or whatever it was called in the thing. The stuffed bunny with big, sharp teeth.
There's also a tribute to it in World of Warcraft. In the Dark Moon Fair, you can fight this vicious bunny, and there's a slight chance of getting a battle pet if you defeat it.
Yeah, there is a stuffed bunny you can find in some toy stores. I gave one to my son. All right. Yes, the species that was exterminated by the holy thermonuclear device of Antioch. Yes, indeed.
Or so they believe. What really happened is the explosion went off, the Vorpal Bunny ducked in under a rock and into a cave and decided never to be seen again, and found a wonderful, I don't know, was it a male bunny or a female? We don't know.
Anthony Hopkins. Oh, I like that. The Dark Moon Rabbit, the Anthony Hopkins. I wish I had thought that
That's
one.
pretty fun.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I called mine.
Dark Moon
Dark
Rabbit.
Moon Rabbit.
I think so. But, okay, so...
We each have over 1,000 battle pets, so it's kind of hard
Yeah.
to come up with names for all of them.
Yeah, well, we'll see about things. All right. Did his vote. All right. That says that you can have done your vote by now. So we are going to close the voting.
And Mary Jest will look at the statistics and will tell us which was the winning meme.
Can somebody repost the link so you can try it on their... Yeah, okay. Tallying. Somebody's trying to get the thing again.
Uh-oh. The link again.
I don't have...
If I scroll up, it will be here.
I suppose you could do it that way.
And I will go there. And Mary just beat me to it.
He did.
Whee!
All right.
Oh, please to two.
There was one that was unreadable, sorry, but... Yeah, and these were on Twitch, and Twitter, and they were on...
Facebook.
And,
Maybe other places?
Maybe other places. But at any rate, we're trying to get people to branch out. We really want fans like you to reach out and find other fans that haven't been brought into the fold yet. So,
yeah, we're finding an interesting thing is that people that actually get to our Kickstarter page, we're getting a really high percentage of them are pledging. So, we're doing something that people want to play, that is going to be pretty cool. But we need people, we need eyes on that page. So please let your friends know about the Kickstarter.
Oh, and we have a winner.
There is a winner.
Drum roll, please. We didn't get our sound effects
There is
working.
a sound effect add-on here, but I don't know quite how to use it.
Well, yeah, we'll try and get that for next time. Yeah, Corey's running in the drum.
Mary Jest.
And the
winner is... I wonder if you can actually... You probably can't actually link the picture there, or can you?
And the winner is... Well, you could if we had them all set up. But,
the winner is...
Benjamin Penney for his entry.
One does not simply walk into the brigand camp.
Well, congratulations, Benjamin Penney.
Yay! I don't know if Benjamin is here today, but he'll be thrilled.
Yeah, we'll have to announce it everywhere.
So, congratulations, Benjamin. He's been a fan for a long time, really part of the community and contributes. And
by the way, I'm Ben.
You're Ben. Well, hi,
Garrick,
Ben.
Congratulations. Gee. And you have won yourself a place at the table.
You will be in the game. And is that the second seat?
That's the third seat.
That's the third seat.
Yeah.
I can't count that high.
I know.
Okay, so you will be given third choice of
who
amazing characters that will be publicized a
and
little
you
bit
will
later.
get your own, as I said, you'll get your own character sheet. You'll get to choose which character sheets, which kind of character you want to play of the ones that are left. And you'll get to keep that character sheet for your life to remember this wonderful and very unique experience. All right,
or
you
so
have
we
to
hope.
rescue a friend from Cardroom. Oh, thank you, Mary. Thank you so much for being here and doing this. And I hope you get your friend rescued from the car trouble. Yeah.
I had a little trouble when I actually dungeon mastered for our group where we had rotating dungeon masters, since I was the only one in the group that actually said, you screw up, you die.
Oh.
And everybody else was like, always gave you an out. So I was the meanest. I'm the mean dungeon master.
Hopefully your characters will survive.
Of course, I'm older now, but...
so that was the meme event. We're not... That's it.
We're done.
We're done. We
okay, well, thank you, everyone, for coming.
We could have... we had more...
We got one more contest. We didn't give away a game box, did we?
We didn't. We're not... we won't... We'll...
Or would it have been?
Well, it
it's
was...
on this list.
Well, that's the raffle. The raffle is the game box.
Oh, okay. Shall we do that right now?
All right, yes, that's it. Since we're rolling this up, we will now have a raffle for everybody that was here. Is that it?
There's a poll, there's betting, there's many games. I guess I could do the raffle I thought there was a bang raffle, but I don't see it. Console, commands, quotes, giveaway. How about a giveaway? There we go. The prize is boxed copy of Hero U Rogue to Redemption. Everyone is eligible. There's no contest, and we'll make the command.
All right.
So, if you are a hero, once I open the giveaway, which I will do shortly, you will type in !hero, also known as Bang Hero, and don't do it yet. Wait for it. The giveaway is now open. To join this raffle for the prize of a boxed copy, we ought to bring one out.
Oh, we should.
Of Hero U Rogue Redemption, with the amazing John Paul Selwood art and the amazing layout by Lorianne Cole.
There you go.
close to
You
the
may
camera.
own this. This is our only real.
And you don't
stand
just get the
copy.
box; you get the contents of the box
We
too.
do. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Why, Vanna,
We're
what do we have in the box?
Oh my gosh, we have a real DVD CD stash.
Yes, that's
music.
a double disc, and one of the discs is the DVD with an obsolete version of the game that you really don't want to play.
No. We will give you a Steam key with this
And then we have
if you don't already.
the real printed, high quality technical manual, similar to what we did in the Quest for Glory games. This thing is really cool, and it's got game hints and characters and.
You see, the purpose of a disc is so that you can have pretty pictures on it.
Yeah, it's got
So we
nothing to
have-
do with actually
yeah,
putting in a disk
Yeah,
drive.
you have a pretty
Oh,
picture.
don't get your fingerprints all
Why
over it.
not?
There we
This
go.
is our version anyway.
That's our disc, and
Yes.
I think
And we
Lori
have a
designed
music-
that cover.
Yeah, and then we have a music CD in here, so we have all sorts of cool stuff.
Are we doing
in
the
here.
premium edition, or are we giving away everything, or just?
Well, we didn't say.
I don't know. Okay, so we're just giving away the box and the discs and the manual.
And there's
and-
the music CD. See, isn't that pretty?
Yeah, the music CD. Oh,
Isn't that pretty? If you
and
could
that, of
actually-
course, has the high quality CD quality versions
And yeah.
of Ryan Grogan's
and there
amazing
were
music.
46 tracks on the music CD.
So yeah, this little game. We started out on a Kickstarter in 2012, saying we're going to make a little game. It'll be a roguelike game, a top-down view, and our fans quickly disabused us of that. Okay, once again, it is !hero, like people were typing in.
If
Bang
you
Hero.
are there, type it in. You too could win that.
And we're closing in 20 seconds. Wait, that's copyrighted music. I can't use that.
Yep. All right. So,
Da 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 da. Closing the raffle giveaway now.
all right.
And entries have stopped for the giveaway. This really raffles my feathers. But you're all heroes. Everyone who signed up for this has a ticket, and you're all heroes, and one of you will win this box.
And who will that be?
Why, Lori, who will it be? She's clicking on the pick winner button.
It says
Ace and Rex, you have won.
Please speak up in chat.
And let Roberta Vaughn know how to get in touch with you. Congratulations. Yes, you are now the owner of this game. I hope you didn't already own the box game. Did you, Ace and Rex? Oh, I should ask these questions.
Well, no, you.
He says he seems pretty excited,
He
so I'm
seems,
guessing not.
Oh, good.
Okay. So,
Congratulations.
We will send you the boxed game, and once again, play off the Steam or the GOG version. We have an older version of the game. It's fine, but it doesn't have 16 to 10 monitor support, and it doesn't have
running. It doesn't have the
it
veritable
doesn't have the super speed.
because our latest games. If you want to play Hero U again, you should always download the most recent version because we keep adding. We can't stop. We want to make the game better, so we still are making it.
All right, we probably ought to answer the question that people asked earlier.
Okay, which one? What are
The
we?
question about what are the future plans, not for Summer Daze, it's for Summer Daze too, but for Hero U Rogue Redemption, is the game done?
Yeah.
Well, this is the internet age. The game is never done.
Yeah. So our latest thing is.
We are real soon now. I have to review a contract, but we are real soon now having a company in Poland work on a conversion of Hero U Rogue Redemption to the Nintendo Switch. And that will be out sometime early next year, spring next year,
In theory.
in theory. and the game will be playable on your Switch.
Of course, Summer Daze will be playable on your phone. It'll be playable on your pad.
Oh, we should have got out our tablet and showed off Summer Daze in the Android. Anyways,
it looks good on the Android.
Summer Daze at Hero U looks amazing on an Android tablet, and is going to be very playable even on a smartphone.
Well, we'll be buying a Switch just to play Hero U too. Believe me.
Yeah, I will be doing that. We'll be getting a Switch development system that costs quite a bit more. But yeah, we will.
Yay.
And we do want to bring Summer Daze to the Switch also, and I think that's like a 85 or 90%. Really likely.
The trick with Switch will be to change the interface so that it actually works. And Hero U, Summer Daze at Hero U, is from the beginning designed so that it can be played on a small screen. With that in mind, if you can, it's kind of tricky now. The interface isn't there
Road Redemption's a little bit ambitious, doing the combat and trying to not get caught in the catacombs and stuff like that.
Will you put up the vote numbers and the memes later? I don't know. It'll depend on Mary Jest, who was running the program.
I think he has all the statistics.
He probably should, and we'll let you know. Because there were some great memes.
Yeah, because we'll have to announce this on Twitch and Facebook and everywhere.
Right. Yes, prize winners, please get a hold of Roberta Vaughn so that we can actually get a quirk
amiibo.
Well,
There's probably something similar to it.
We'd love to have something like
that. And once we're on the Nintendo, we're more likely to actually have amiibos. So that's one of the reasons I didn't actually answer the amiibo question earlier, was because we have to have a Nintendo presence for people to want to do that.
Are Antwerps that dangerous? Not if you don't provoke them.
There's a Pac-Man amiibo. Okay, so what else? There's more plans. Hero U Road Redemption. We've been working for the last 6 or 8 months with various translators to get into foreign languages. We have a company in China that supposedly is mostly done with it, but we're having a little bit of a communication gap, so I don't know if the Chinese version will make it out. We might be able to release a 3/4 translated version. I don't want to do that, though. We have a French language version that is complete, and it is currently in proofreading and testing. If you are on Steam, you have an option. You can actually right-click on the game, and under settings or options I think it is, you can go and look at beta versions. And if you choose the beta version, which does not have a password, just click on it. That will change your game to the latest version 1.6 that we're working on, which we think is reliable. But in addition, you can now go to the settings menu on that and set your language to French and play the game entirely in French.
Right, so if you've ever wanted to learn French, now's the time.
We have a German version that's about half done, and we ran out of money, so hopefully if we have a successful Summer Daze at Hero U Kickstarter, that'll kind of bolster the coffers, and I'll be able to go and get the rest of the German version done.
Little Yasnik, there are plans for Russian, not at the current moment.
We've had a lot of requests for Russian. Need any help? Yeah, if you have contacts with someone, there's a few ways we could do it. We could do like a crowdsourced Russian translation and get the Russian fan community to help us translate it.
But it's a huge game.
It's gigantic. It's 450,000 words.
So silly, that we make these games that are too large, so it's not designed too well, and that's why we started with Summer Daze at Hero U is designed so that we can actually be down to a reasonable thing. Is Summer Daze going to be voice acted? That's a good question.
We don't know the answer yet. It depends on what happens in the Kickstarter.
Precisely.
We really do expect to make our goal. We're at we're more than 2/3 of the way there. And we still have 10 days to go, and everything goes crazy in the last 48 hours.
Yes, so therefore, if it starts to go crazy at the last 48 hours, we will be adding our stretch goals. And
one of our stretch goals is voice acting.
Voice acting is so important, and we really love to have it. The other stretch goal we have is additional animation in the game, so that it isn't just the static storybook that we're showing, that the characters move a bit and the backgrounds move a bit. So that it has more life than what it was. So Summer Daze does not have a harem.
Someone dropped 1,000. Does that added 1,000 or reduced by 1,000? I don't know.
Oh, well.
Whatever. Dropping 1,000. That could be good or bad.
Yeah.
But, what really comes down to is right at the end.
Yeah. So, yes, we will be watching that. We will let you know what our...
Yay! They pledged.
Oh, thank goodness. Yeah, the closer we get to our goal, the more, we will be setting up the stretch goals to let you know. We will be adding add-ons if we need to. If you have anything that you'd really like to see on the add-ons, let us know, because we'll be happy to have more stuff to give people.
Yes, thank you very much. Pleasure. And thank you for everyone who came to this stream. We have a ball doing them, and it's really because of the feedback from you guys that makes it fun.
Yeah, the fact that you show up, that's fun.
Well,
that makes
and the fact that you're active and
yeah.
And participate.
And so, yes, again, thanks to our sponsors who donated those wonderful prizes. And thank you to Mary Jest, and thank you to Roberta for helping us, and the Classic Gamers Guild. Thank you for your help this week. And let's make this Kickstarter a success so we can keep doing this sort of thing.
Yeah. So this the Kickstarter is about Summer Daze, but it's also about, as we said, bringing some improvements to Hero U and bringing it to more systems. And then it's moving forward that we'd love to be able to have a game that really, takes off and becomes a big success. And, everybody else would be doing that because they want to get rich. No, we want to do it so we can do Hero U 2 Wizard's Way.
Yep.
Because we're talking, $1 million to $2 million budget for that game. And it's
welcome back, Rich. At any rate, thank
Yay.
you so much. And just time to say, so long, farewell.
TTFN.
Auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye.
What is it? Live long and prosper.
Yes, peace and long life. Yeah, hey. See you on Thursday, everybody. I hope you'll be there because we'll have more fun.
We offer you water, may you never thirst. That's what I said to Lori when we met, and she was charmed.
I also knew the reference because we are geeks.
And I am closing the recording and ending